we are under the M2 now.
Sounded funny. You sounded really funny.
My viewers need to know what's happened. I have half a mind to do something more, but I don't know. This is where we are.
All right, guys, we are under the M2 now, taking a look at what needs to be removed to get the transmission out. So quite a few things. First thing is going to be this crossover pipe here. We may be able to get the trans out. I think we will be able to. Still leaving this front cross brace in and just stiffening plate. We'll have to remove the slave cylinder here from the transmission. We'll obviously have to remove all of the bell housing bolts around the transmission. There's a couple power lines here kind of clipped in and a bracket up here that'll have to come off. We'll be able to leave the downpipes in place. The exhaust will have to come down out of the way so that we can get to the drive shaft easier. This transmission cross member will come down out of the way. Those will get pulled down, and I'll probably pull this center bolt here, the drive shaft bolts, one ground to the transmission, the shifter linkage to the CAE shifter, which everything's looking beautiful, and we'll probably have to pull the whole exhaust down. We'll see. I might be able to just hang it, pull this center brace and just kind of let it hang. All right, guys, we've gone ahead, removed the ground here, transmission cross member, exhaust undone here, across here, the brace here. We're gonna go ahead, get the slave cylinder out next, drive shaft, shifter, and then start working on the transmission bolts. All right, guys, so the transmission is basically ready to be pulled out. You can see we have the exhaust down here. Everything is basically hanging on the 4 rear mounts, so I've gone ahead and loosened these a bit. The rear ones are just completely tight still. You actually are able to get enough jiggle room in the drive shaft just to get it off. So I've gone ahead and separated that. I'm gonna be kind of like pushing it to the side as we pull the transmission back. I don't have any help to bring down the exhaust, and this big jam nut kind of sucks here at the back on the drive shaft. So last bolt is in. There is an electrical connector for the speed sensor, the gear shift selector. There's a couple clips that clip it to the transmission. Those have been undone. Obviously this all has been undone. Brackets out, all the transmission bolts are out. The last one here, quick look at all the stuff necessary. You got your exhaust hanger here, cross brace here, drive shaft cross brace support, transmission bolts, the exhaust, and like O2 sensor wire and power cable bracket, exhaust hanger here, drive shaft bolts, underbelly pan bolts, some of the hardware for the transmission cross brace, and that's about it. The slave cylinder bolts, ground, and the other little bracket there that goes to the transmission. So let's go ahead, get this transmission out of the car. Clutch isn't even completely just glazed. It just got so hot, just burnished itself into the clutch. It just doesn't have enough clamping force. I thought it'd actually be worse than that. Isn't that bad, but yeah, that's funny. It's interesting design. How it locks in here to the pressure plate, and that's actually how it's driving itself. Very, very interesting design of a pressure plate. So let's go ahead, let's get the flywheel on. And we'll send this off to SPEC so they can analyze it all and design their own new clutch, which they are going to send me here soon. So let's get this to them. All right, guys, so we got the clutch all packaged up. We ended up putting in the SX. All right, guys, look what just showed up. The SPEC
clutch has arrived for the G87 M2, so we're gonna go ahead, pop this open. Let me maybe set this down so I can do this with two hands. So I'm hoping my old clutch stuff is in here so I can show you that, but I hope they didn't forget the old stuff. It looks like they've put new flywheel bolts. I sent them my old stuff. Now I'm a little worried. I'm gonna have to ask for that back. Hopefully it's in here, but I don't think it is. I really have like the first test set. Wow, look at this bearing. That's actually a really high quality looking bearing, guys. Holy crap. I don't know if you can see this. It's like totally kind of rough, kind of the first version. They even had to put U's, you know, with the arrow. I can test it and make sure it's right, but look at this bearing. It's so heavy duty. This is a really heavy duty bearing. And it rolls really nice. This whole piece is actually nice. Normally they're plastic. So that's fucking cool. I'm wondering if they've given us a whole new, or if this is the old one. We're gonna see here. We got our new hardware. Cool, all right, enough of that stuff. There it is, guys. There is the brand new SPEC G8X twin plate clutch for the G87 M2 and the G80 M3 and the G82 M4. We've got some stickers. We'll be putting those on the car. Let's see what the instructions have to say. Twin disc, torque. 22 foot-pounds for the pressure plate to flywheel bolts. Flywheel to crank bolts, OE SPEC. Super twin using 6mm, 8 foot-pounds. I'm gonna have to figure out here. This thing looks pretty bad. Looks pretty bad to the bone. Oh yeah. Let's get this bad boy out. Oh wow. That is one massive flywheel. They've marked it for weight, so we want to keep all that together. That's important. Wow. This thing is crazy, guys. Hopefully you can see this. Let me pull the condom off it.
I'm gonna come. Oh.
Oh yeah. What can we say? Sometimes these aftermarket clutches, especially because this is the very first version of it, just kind of rudimentary in a way, right? This is like the very first version of this clutch, so they're testing out. This thing is freaking huge and should handle all the abuse that we throw at it. So I'm super excited to get this in the car, do some clutch kicks, do some drifting, do some road racing, and overall just have some fun with it. So let's stop talking about it. I got to get the M2 out of the location that it's in. I'm going to set this over here on the table. I'm going to set it down over here, but look at the beautiful branding with the SPEC here. It tells you on the inside, trans side on the actual clutch disc. So when you take this apart and install it on the car, no issue. You got some nice SPEC etching there. I guess the flywheel is, sorry guys, I guess the flywheel is actually the same as the F80 M3s, the S55. So they said, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll find that out here in a bit. I got one to compare it with, but anyhow, we're gonna get this clutch off and get that flywheel mounted on the car. The car has got to get out of this position here under the 240 and move back over there. So we're gonna go ahead, get this dealt with, and I'll check back in here in a bit. All right guys, so we're about to take apart this SPEC clutch and install the flywheel on the G87. We got the G87 back onto the lift, so we're ready to start working on it. I'm having one huge ultimatum right now, and it's unfortunate because it's Saturday, and the chance of me getting anything other than another factory OEM one are slim to none. But as you can see here on the right is the factory plastic clutch pivot pin, and on my left here is a bronze clutch pivot pin out of a E92 M3. It was the only thing I get my hands on. Pretty sure this also is the same for the F80 M3. Flywheel itself is the same, that the pivot pin would be the same. And although the design is almost identical, I wanted to try a different pivot pin. Now the problem I'm finding is nobody on the market currently makes a clutch pivot pin. So something I think I need to make. I do have another factory plastic one at the dealership. This one, as you can see in 10,000 miles, is already slightly worn. Unfortunately, I think I'm gonna choose to go with the plastic one. I'm not very happy about it. I would love to be doing an upgrade and making sure this is like a permanent fix. One quick look under the car. If you guys remember, we just tied up the drive shaft here. The exhaust is kind of hanging, the ground, some of the stuff just hanging out, waiting for reinstallation. All right guys, so unfortunately we won't be installing this clutch today due to a massive oversight. Not even sure how they did this. I don't know who inspected it, who said that, but first things first, I don't know how you missed this. This is a 6-bolt flywheel. The S55 engine, we have one here for reference, hanging, is a 6-bolt crank, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, if we go look at our S58, you will see it is a 8-bolt crankshaft. So not only did I send them my original flywheel with 8 bolts, okay, somebody completely just failed to notice that there was 8 bolts and an 8-hole flywheel, okay, so is honestly unforgivable. And if it was just that alone, okay, maybe somebody just really didn't look at things, but the backspacing, everything else, it just needed to be drilled for 8 and this would work. Really hard to understand how it happens. Okay, the next one I can understand how it happens. If this happens, did you guys even measure the original flywheel? Okay, the backspacing is incorrect. So I'm having issues where the ring here on the flywheel is running in to the block long before this mating surface here touches the crankshaft. And so higher, or this outer ridge needs to be cut back more. Not exactly sure. I don't have the factory flywheel to compare, but this thing is running in to the actual block of the engine. 3 issues that I can tell. Not to mention, I don't know if the tooth design is the right count of teeth, size, diameter, whatever, but for sure that is incorrect. I'm gonna go check the clutch splines and make sure the clutch splines are the right splines for the transmission. And to be honest, they also sent me this clutch fork and release fork and all that, but I don't want to use that stuff. I want my original stuff back, so I'm gonna ask for the original fork so I can utilize that. And yeah, this whole setup is just questionable at best. If they can't get the bolt pattern correct, at the very least, then I am questioning whether any of the stuff is right for the application. So very unfortunate. Hopefully SPEC can remedy this. Who knows if this will even make it into the video. We may have to cut this out. But anyhow, yeah, that is where we're at. This is not the Saturday morning I wanted. I was hoping to come in, get this thing running, and if everything went well, break it in today and maybe go to the track tomorrow. And we've just wasted 5 weeks. Hopefully we can get this done soon. I've been dying to test this car. We haven't been able to drive this car at all. We've been waiting for the wheels and then brakes, clutch. It's been something after another thing. You know, we had the issue with the steering, all that. We had the issue with the coating. It's been endless issues. So we are finally ready to be done with this car. I was hoping today was going to be the day, and it just looks like it's not my day today. So we'll see you guys back when we have a solution. Until now, I've emailed them, I've called them. It's Saturday, they're closed. I probably won't get a response till Monday. It's also Christmas week. I'll be lucky if anything happens this week, so wish me luck, guys.
All right, guys. So unfortunately, I really hate to do this. I've honestly never had to do this before, but I think that you guys, my viewers, need to know what's happened with the G87 build and why there's been such a holdup of videos. And unfortunately, this, along with many other things, may actually push us to even just move on with the build, to be honest. The build, the car, has not been the easiest thing since the beginning. As you guys have seen, we've had plenty of issues with the car. And this, unfortunately, just adds to the frustrations with this vehicle. So without further ado, I'm just going to get into it. Just going to kind of talk about what's happened. Obviously, as you guys saw, we were removing the clutch. We were really stoked. We entered into a partnership with SPEC Clutch Back in September, I started reaching out for sponsorships for clutches for the G87 as I was starting to experience some issues. And I knew that it was just a matter of time before the clutch completely crap and I needed something else. And at the time, Clutch Masters had something ready. I knew ACT was working on something, and I hadn't seen anything from SPEC, but to be honest, I haven't had the best experience with some of the others. I mean, I really actually like ACT, but the Clutch Master stuff in the past I haven't been super impressed with, and I seem to have better experience with SPEC, and I also got a better offer from SPEC. Back in September, basically SPEC proposed an offer to which we started getting into some negotiations. Basically, we're going back and forth up into October, which is where essentially the CEO, David, got involved and agreed to the offer and basically went into this partnership, me thinking that they were either already working on a G8X clutch setup or, you know, had something ready that hadn't been shown to the masses. So long story short, we agree on terms. Some time goes by. They ask for, you know, they had a sponsorship application they wanted me to fill out, some other things. I'm just reading through the emails. Honestly, there's so many emails. I was going to show you guys the emails, but I just think that it would take too long. Obviously, if you guys wanted to see them, we could. I'm talking to them in October 17th here, sorry, because it's between 3 different email threads, so I've got to go bounce between them. And then basically back in November, right? So like a whole month, maybe and a half has passed now between us negotiating, trying to figure out, you know, what I needed. They were kind of requesting information on the cars and what I was going to do. And that was also my other reason for going with SPEC, because I told them what I wanted to do. I told them I was going to drift, I was going to race the car, a bunch of stuff. Okay, yeah, no problem. We'll make a clutch for that. When I told Clutch Masters, they were kind of like, well, the clutch can't be for drift and I was like, dude, I just need a clutch. It's going to be well-rounded. Long story short, they come back to me in November 13th to be exact and say, I apologize for the delayed response. We would love to work with you on this. My tech department has informed me that this application is so new, we have not had the opportunity to confirm fitment yet. If you would send us your clutch, flywheel, release bearing so we can confirm fitment, we could definitely revisit the sponsorship terms, discount, and would be happy to provide a shipping label if you were interested. And so that was the thing. We actually had agreed on terms. And then once I found out that they didn't have a clutch, and I had to actually provide them my clutch out of my physical car, which required me to take my car apart, which made it inoperable. It took up a lift here in the shop, and that was back in November. It's now February 1st when I'm filming this video, and my car is still on the lift, guys, as you guys can see. So we're talking about almost 4 months, 5 months that I've been dealing with this. And realistically, you know, a good solid 3 months that the car's been down. And it's unfortunate. This really isn't the outcome I wanted. I didn't want to have to make this. I gave them repeated opportunities to make this right. The lack of communication and professionalism is something I've never experienced. I just want to continue with what happened. I don't want to express any negative towards the company. I just want to share my experience so you guys can be informed. We go back and forth. We say, okay, great. We agree on a different discount. I say, hey, send me a label. I'll get the clutch out immediately, like next day. This was October 17th when we're talking. They send me a label. We'll email you the label November 14th. Sounds great, thank you. I just sent the label November 14th from Shelly. And then I will ensure that the existing clutch assembly, flywheel, release bearing, everything is removed from the vehicle that particular weekend. I had it shipped out, I think Monday would have been like the 16th or the 17th. So I shipped it out that very following, like Monday or Tuesday, which was November 16th or 17th. I never got an email back from them like that they're saying, hey, we received it and we're working on it. So I reach out on November 30th and I say, hi, Shelly, I hope you're doing well. I'm just checking in on the status of the new clutch kit and fitment confirmation. Could you please provide us an update on the progress? Didn't hear anything back. So I reach out again on December 3rd. Hi, hope you're doing well. I'm just reaching out again, looking for a follow-up. She does respond on December 3rd and says, the flywheel is the same as the previous year. So she's saying it's the same as the S55 as the previous M2, M3, M4 generation. They are working on it today. It didn't arrive until Wednesday afternoon. And then we were closed Thursday and Friday for Thanksgiving. And so that was the other thing, is that Thanksgiving was going on and there's been holidays. And so I've been very lenient with the timeline and giving them extra grace to make things right, and understanding that this time of the year is also a very hard time with all the holidays and stuff. Things just don't get done. So I understand that. so I'm patient. No problem, thank you for the update. January 15th, okay, actually, it moves to a different thread, so I don't email them on this thread till January 15th, so I'm gonna go find the other thread from December 3rd on where. So on December 12th, actually, I think there's a couple emails missing, because that was December 3rd. I would have emailed them a few times asking between December 3rd and December 12th, hey, what's the status on the clutch? Is it gonna ship soon? Yada, yada, yada. December 12th, she says, Ray, this is shipping today. She sends me an invoice for what I paid. So I did pay something for this clutch, guys. And then I mentioned to her that I also need a clutch, you know, for my 1M build that I'm doing, and I would like to do it, blah, blah, blah. She goes, I won't be able to ship that today. I'll go ahead and ship this one, and then hopefully next week or something we can talk about that. Sounds good. Thanks for the heads up. This is all December 12th. December 16th, I said, hi, Shelly. I hope you're doing well. I just wanted to follow up as I heard a few times. As I've called a few times and haven't heard back, I'm trying to confirm whether the clutch kit on invoice 10 or, you know, the invoice number, it's 138 is shipped. If it has, could you send over the tracking number? Because she told me it was shipping today on the 12th and I never got tracking. Also, please let me know how payment should be handled because they just sent me an invoice and I wasn't sure, but I had forgotten that I'd given my credit card information previously. We completely understand that the shipping and holidays can slow things down. So I'm reiterating the fact that I just told you guys. I understand things take longer and I understand with holidays that there are issues. So that said, we've now passed the 1 month mark and we're still waiting on this clutch. And mind you guys, they originally said they needed the clutch for 1 to 2 weeks and then they could send me back the new clutch. So we're now a month later. Completely understand, holidays can slow things down. Some of this was unlikely avoidable. That said, we've now passed the 1 month mark and we are still waiting patiently and the delay has started to affect our build schedule and event racing plans because we did. We had a Christmas video we were supposed to film. I would have liked to do something for Thanksgiving, but that just probably wasn't gonna work. We also missed a bunch of races. We were supposed to film some content for Hoosier, a bunch of different things that I've kind of let sponsors down. I would have liked to take the car to see, I mean, I can go on and on. Anyhow, it's really been a pain in the butt, and not to mention the car has been stuck in the shop affecting our business operations. I literally have 3 lifts. So with the car stuck on my lift, 33% of my shop is rendered ineffective. And I'm supposed to operate my business like that. I was okay with it for a week, 2, maybe even a month, but 3-4 months is really not cool. And given that I wanted to ask to provide the second clutch, so this is just talking about the second clutch, December 17th, she responds, hey, I charged your card. If you open the attachment, the tracking number is on the invoice. It shipped on the 16th, which she said it was gonna ship on the 12th. Okay, not a big deal. And then on the 17th, I said, awesome, thanks. We look forward to receiving it. Let us know what you can do on the 1M build. So I received it, I think on the 19th. And then I was so frustrated that evening after receiving the clutch and it being this right here, which is identical to, you can even go watch the BMW F80 M3 video that we just posted where we install this exact clutch. And I watched the video back and it's the exact same flywheel to a T. So one, did nobody even compare the original flywheel? Like, it's so obvious. The original flywheel has 8 bolts. Okay, it's an 8-bolt clutch kit. I sent them everything, guys. The pressure plate, the disc, the flywheel, the release bearing, the actual throwout bearing, or the release fork. I literally sent them everything that they needed to compare the two and make sure that everything was correct. So I don't know how, after a month of having the clutch in their hands, this shows up at my door. 6 bolts, and then, you know, these bolts don't even work with the new flywheel. We'll get to that in a second, but this is wrong in so many ways. The height, the stack height was wrong. The fact that it's 6 bolts is wrong. The centering pin, the hole is double the size of the S58 one. The actual back spacing between this ring gear and the crankshaft is completely wrong to where this was running into the block. And so how that passed quality control for somebody who is a partner, and obviously they know they're developing a new clutch. I don't know if they just sent me this to buy more time or what the case is, but I was pretty upset after waiting for a month and receiving a off-the-shelf S55 clutch, and nothing about this was specific to the S58. So nonetheless, I reach out on December 20th, and let's see what I said. So I'm reaching out, letting you know the flywheel supplied is incorrect for the application, while it was stated that the S58 flywheel is the same as the S55, which I initially questioned. When she said that, mentally I'm going, nothing about this engine is the same as the S55. Why would the clutch kit be the same? but they're the masters. I didn't have an S55 clutch in front of me to compare to the S58 one that I had removed, so I just believed it. Ultimately trusted based on your expertise that this would be correct. That information is proven to be incorrect. I told them all the things that were incorrect. Then at this point said, hey, for the delays, I really think it's fair that you guys now provide me with a second clutch, the 1M clutch, for free, or like very, very cheap or something. Like do something for me, right? Because now we're a month down the road, and obviously nobody has taken the care to make sure that this new product they're developing and are shipping to a customer who's actively waiting for it with a car down. I give them grace again. She asked me what part number's machine, like she doesn't even know what they sent. I tell her, and she goes, oh yeah, sorry, that part number machine should have been SB, not SN. It was stated that the flywheel was identical to the S55 application. Oh, this is actually me. So I responded to her December 21st again. She responded back about what part number. Responded December 21st saying, hey, the part number machine of the flywheel is SB55. In a previous email, it was stated that this flywheel is identical to the S55. I go and say, hey, like it'd be really nice if we could get this fixed before Christmas because it's December 21st and I'd like to have my car for Christmas and the holidays and New Year's and be able to go. There was a track day coming up. And and not to mention my birthday is December 28th. So I would have liked to enjoy my car. You know, this is my daily driver, guys. It's not just a shop build. I drive these cars. They are used to operate my life. And so I sent her a photo of the flywheel. She asked for a photo. I sent her a photo of it on the 21st. On December 21st, I can't do anything on a Sunday. I know David and our engineering manager worked together on measurements and made sure everything was correct. Justin, send a picture of the flywheel and we will handle it tomorrow. Now, I don't know that part if she was saying Justin was like an employee and sent the photo or what. I'm still waiting for a photo of the flywheel. I need that to determine the next steps, December 22nd. And I had sent her a photo, and that was the thing that I was confused by, because I had sent her a photo on the 21st, and then on the 22nd, she came back and said, I don't have a picture, I need a photo. And I said, hi, Shelly, the part number machine of the flywheel is the same thing I said. I did send you a photo. Given that this was described as a bespoke item produced specifically for our application, I'm genuinely concerned that the incorrect kit was shipped, and after a 5-week wait, and in light of the fitment issues, we've determined it's difficult to understand how such a discrepancy could occur. Additionally, I need our original parts returned. So this is, I think, the first time that I actually start to request my original parts, because I wanted the clutch back myself so I could compare it to the clutch that I had here to see like really how far off is it. And because then I was like, oh, like maybe the backspacing slightly, maybe it's just holes, you know, maybe it's not that far off. No, it's completely different design. But I didn't know at this point. So at this point, an immediate resolution is required. I require a full refund of the original clutch kit. So at this point, I'm like, I want the first clutch free for the time, or I'll pay for the first clutch, the percentage that we agreed on, but I want a second clutch free to make it right. Yada, yada, yada. You know, I'm explaining my loss of confidence and the whole thing, just how I'm, upset with this whole experience. She comes back on the 22nd and says the machine shop department drilled 6-hole pattern instead of the 8-hole pattern in ERA. No one is more frustrated with this than I am, which once again, super concerning, because once I've received the new S58 flywheel, the stack height is different, the backspacing between the ring gear and the actual backspacing on the crankshaft is completely different. Not to mention the centering pin, the 8 holes. I mean, I can keep going on. So, okay, I ask her, thank you for confirming the 6-bolt issues. We have identified 2 additional fitment issues. So I say, hey, and they continually do this too, right? They answer one thing, like I pointed out that there was backspacing issues, centering pin, and the 6 holes. She comes back and just says, yeah, we messed up the 6 holes. Completely disregards the backspacing and the centering pin. And they continue to have the same theme throughout their emails, where I ask questions and they repeatedly don't answer the questions. Thank you confirming the 6-bolt drilling error. We have identified 2 additional fitment issues: incorrect backspacing, incorrect locating pin hole. The flywheel is marked SB, and the correct part, as you're saying, should have been SN. This discrepancy, along with the physical fitment issues, suggests the kit is incorrect, not just the flywheel holes. Like the whole thing is incorrect, is what I'm saying. Giving the ongoing issues, please, we need a resolution. She says, it says SN55, 8.5. They drilled all of them incorrectly. It's just the flywheel issue, but we will not be able to remake these prior to the holiday. I can send yours back now, or we can send a new one in January and return yours at that time. We reopen January 5th. So this is December 22nd. And she's basically saying, hey, you're gonna have to wait until we reopen. And I also don't know how long it's gonna take once we reopen, but this is the only thing I can do. What am I to do? I respond and say, hey, given the severity of this issue, I believe a phone call. And this is when I actually start asking for phone calls, because I'm like, okay, I need to talk to somebody. I need to make sure you guys understand the implications that this is causing on my life, my business. These cars bring me a lot of joy. And if I can't drive my car and I'm paying, I've spent all this money, I've spent a lot of time and energy to get partners on board to build this car and to entertain you guys and make content. And if I can't do that, it really, really messes with my mental and, just adds so much stress and extra depression that I don't need. I've got enough stress in my life, and this was something that I just didn't need. It's very, very unfortunate experience. So she doesn't respond on the 22nd to that email asking for a call and letting her know how this experience was, a very poor experience up to this point, and I was unhappy. I did request on the 22nd, hi Shelly and David, thank you for David's update. If the original parts are no longer needed for verification, please send them back immediately. This was December 22nd, guys. I appreciate the return of the following: original flywheel, 8 flywheel bolts, original pressure plate, friction disc, pressure plate hardware, throw-out fork, and bearing, because I wanted to make sure that I got everything back and not like a hodgepodge of stuff. January 6th, I reach out and say, hi, David and Shelly, following up on our correspondence regarding the incorrect clutch kit. I need to emphasize the urgency on this matter. The delay and fitment issues have severely impacted our shop's ability to make money and continue to take up valuable lift space in our shops, which it does. We only have 3 lifts. I mean, I have a bunch of cars coming and going every day, customer cars, and it makes it really difficult to operate when you have a car stuck in the way. Not to mention, this is my daily driver. I've been out of this vehicle for almost 2 months now, yada, yada, yada. I just go into, all the stuff about how I'm dissatisfied, how I'm paying for the car. It's just a bunch of, context so they can understand my frustrations. The correct flywheel is on the CNC now. I will update you as soon as it comes off, January 6th. January 9th. Hi, David and Shelly. Thanks for the update. Can you let me know the current status of the flywheel? I am not sure how it is taking several days to complete the CNC process. Given the extensive delays we've already faced, I need to know exactly when this will be finished and shipped out. And this is when I really start to press for a timeline, because at this point, I need a day that they can agree to, that I can hold them accountable. Because if they're just gonna keep saying, oh, it's coming and it's gonna ship and it's on the CNC, this could go on forever. And so I'm really like, hey guys, I need an update. I need a physical day that I can hold you to. No response. And this is when things really start to get fun. January 13th. Hi, David. Following up on my last email, the lack of communication regarding the status of the flywheel is disappointing. The history of this order, I cannot wait any longer for updates. I need to know exactly where we stand and when this will ship. Additionally, I request the return of my original parts weeks ago and still have not received them. As a reminder, I need the following sent back immediately. I go back through the 8 bolts, flywheel, all the items I listed before. I'm like, hey, make sure to send me my clutch. This situation has become absurd. Other companies have ready to go options. And at this point, I had actually gone back to the table and started talking to Clutch Masters and ACT. We had offers on the table, and the only reason I chose to go with SPEC was because I was getting a better deal. And to be honest, I've had better experience with the clutches. So making this video, I don't get anything from this. Like, I'm potentially never gonna work with this company again, which is unfortunate because I actually kind of like the product. This is just really, really unfortunate experience. I didn't want to make this video. I tried so hard, guys, but I'm at a point now where I still don't have a clutch. It's February 1st, and I can't even get a call back or an email in a timely manner from this company. Anyhow, next email, no response, January 13th. I actually sent it on 2 different email threads. So this is why the email threads start to change, because I start emailing them in different email threads trying to just get somewhere. David on December 14th responds, the updated unit is done on the lathe and awaiting the mill to open. So they opened January 5th. We're talking like 10 days later, guys. They still haven't made a flywheel. It's just a billet CNC piece. I mean, I know dudes that can whip this up in a day. Long story short, you would have thought that they would have put like a rush on this thing, like week 1, day 1, like after all of this. The mill operation is short, so it should be able to ship quickly. We are working on it ahead of 500 orders. And this wasn't the first time. I think I missed this in another email. They continually also tried to make it like I was an inconvenience. Like they were putting me ahead of all of these other orders. You guys agreed to the deal. You guys gave me a timeline of 1 to 2 weeks. Don't tell me it's my fault and don't make me feel bad about trying to put me ahead of other orders. So he says, we are working on it ahead of 500 orders plus in the process, so your wait time is minimized as much as possible, as it should be after waiting this long. Hi, David and Shelly, just January 14th. Thank you for the update. However, I need to be clear that referencing my order being placed 500 orders is not helpful. I have been waiting for over 2.5 months for this functional component. The same reassurance was given regarding the original flywheel, which they said. They were like, hey, we're putting your flywheel ahead of all these other flywheels, which the original flywheel is wrong. So that was just funny. The delays stem from errors and oversights on your side. I am not interested in justifications or attempts to reframe the delay. I need this resolved. And this is really at the point where at this point, I've basically given up all hope. I'm like, if I ever even receive a clutch from this company, I will be amazed. And, I was still hopeful somewhat, but at this point, it's not looking too good. So I go back and say again in this email, hey, please, this is January 14th, please send back my original clutch. January 15th, I didn't get a response. So at this point, I'm starting to get fed up. I'm like sending emails daily. Hi, David and Shelly. I am writing to follow up on the status of my order. As I stated in my previous email, I require a confirmation by tomorrow, Friday. So that would have been January 16th, I believe, that the corrected G8X flywheel, I was trying to get them to send it by that Friday. It's like he said it was almost done on like a Tuesday. You would think that it just needs to go through the lathe. He should be able to get it done by Friday. Additionally, please confirm my original clutch kit. All of that has been sent back. No response. Typical. Hi, Shelly and David. January 21st. The situation is completely unacceptable, despite being very clear about needing a firm date, Friday, 1/16/26. For accountability, I've received no response from you or David. I was previously reassured that the clutch was nearly finished and would likely ship this past Monday. And that was the thing, I called him Friday. So I started getting to the point where I was calling because I wanted to just talk to David and Shelly. And still to this point in time, I have not been able to get David or Shelly or anyone for that matter, except for just some salespeople on the phone. And there's been one person within the company who tried to get me an outcome, and to which he was able to tell me, your clutch would not ship Friday and hopefully would ship Monday, which would have been January, I believe, if the 16th was Friday, 17th, Saturday, 18th, so it would have been the 19th. I didn't receive anything, so I waited on Monday thinking that I would have received something. Monday was a holiday, I believe it was Martin Luther King Day. So I gave him an extra day thinking, okay, maybe Tuesday I'll get an email. Didn't get an email Tuesday, so I emailed them on Wednesday, January 21st. The situation is completely unacceptable, despite being very clear about my expectations on the 16th. I've received no response from you or David. I was previously reassured that the clutch was nearly finished and would likely ship. Okay, no response. I respond again on January 24th. Hi, David and Shelly. The ongoing lack of communication regarding this order is unacceptable. I'm still waiting for your answers regarding the balancing of the clutch and the orientation of the clutch disc. And that was the thing, actually, is I guess maybe they had shipped the clutch like the 20th, that Tuesday, or Wednesday, the 21st, when I had emailed them, and they didn't send me tracking or anything, and I had to email them a few times. I'm trying to make sense of this all, dude, because it's been, like I said, between multiple email threads and quite frustrating to deal with. So anyhow, they ship the clutch out or receive the clutch on the 22nd. They don't ship a complete clutch. They ship just a flywheel, which is completely different than the flywheel that came for the S55. They like overall height, the pinhole, bunch of stuff. At least the flywheel looks correct now. So I'm like, okay, cool. The only problem I'm having is they're expecting to put the clutch from the S55 onto the S58, which even if it is the same, okay. But I took the clutch apart and lost the orientation of the actual clutch discs because I figured I was just going to send this thing back. I figured they were going to send me a whole new unit. So when I went to go put it on the car and found out it was wrong, I just kind of like, whatever. Now I do have balancing marks. I can make sure the intermediate shaft and the pressure plate and whatnot are in the correct position. But what I don't know is there's 2 discs, and the disc can be oriented in a few different ways. Let me see here, guys. I'm going to show you what my big concern is, and I've been trying to just get an answer out of them on what to do, because I don't want to install this clutch after waiting 3 months and have any vibration or application issues. You could take this clutch disc and reorient it about 3 or 4 different ways. So if I take this tool out, right, you spline the splines up. Well, I can twist to the next spline, to the next spline, to the next spline, and that changes the balancing, because these plugs can either be, let me show you guys here, in line or not in line. And so when I put them over top of each other, I'm trying to ask them, okay guys, if you really want me to run this, how should I run it? Do I run it with the clutch discs staggered? Do I run it with them basically symmetrical? In my head, I'm thinking, okay, symmetrical could be really good. Or do I go opposite, right? Do I go like that, to where when one is pressing, they're kind of on the opposite surface area, so it gets a more distributed load across the intermediate plate? That's what I'm thinking, but I can't get an answer out of them. So what do? Do I put it like that? Do I put it like this? Do I put it like this? And I can't even get an answer about it. So I've been requesting a complete new clutch with an S58 specific flywheel, so that I can be sure the clutch that I put in my car that they want real life feedback on is the best potential outcome. And if I'm going to put something in potentially incorrectly, then that's not cool. And how can I give them proper feedback on a new product if I've kind of got like a hodgepodge incorrect product? And so after waiting all this time, it's very frustrating. I've been calling and emailing. I messaged them on the 24th about the concerns for, and that was the other thing, is they had not sent any hardware with the flywheel. They had originally sent me 6 of these bolts. And so I said, hey guys, you sent a flywheel, but you didn't send 2 extra bolts? Come on guys, the attention to detail after this long is just absurd. And, you know, after being one of the initial pain points with the original flywheel, you would have thought like, bing, oh yeah, we sent 6 bolts and a 6-bolt flywheel. We should probably send 2 more bolts with our 8-bolt flywheel that we're sending out. They didn't consider that, so I had to message and say on the 26th. So I messaged them on the 24th, asking for an update on these issues regarding the balancing and the orientation of the clutch disc and the hardware. On the 26th, I'm reaching out again because I need input on this regarding the, here. At this point, I am not going to install this clutch kit, given the ongoing concerns I have raised, because I'm asking them now, what do I do about the hardware? Which I could tell it used the factory hardware. I took a factory bolt, put it in, and I go, okay, but I wanted them to tell me, like, hey, you're supposed to use factory hardware. Why wouldn't you guys disclose that to me when you sent out the second flywheel? They just sent it out and didn't say, hey, you're gonna have to go get factory hardware, or like, hey, you know, go find 2 bolts, or I've been out of my vehicle for 3 months, I have invested funds, yet still do not have a product that I feel comfortable installing or that I believe is adequate for the job. And so I'm expressing my concerns that I just don't want to install this and have issues. I really don't. It's not a quick job to put a clutch in. And I want to put a clutch in and be able to give real world feedback to you guys and to spec themselves so they can improve the clutch, or at least know that they've got a good product to sell to the masses. That's the whole point of this, right? Like, because of me, they now have a new product. There's like millions of these cars on the road, G87 M2, 3, 4, they're still in production. There's probably a few $1 million that they can make now off of me because of me providing them with a clutch to develop this clutch kit. Not to mention, this video is like marketing, right? Like, you guys might actually go buy this clutch. Maybe not after this video, but might have actually gone and bought this clutch. Basically, on the 26th, I said, since it seems you guys are unable to provide basic customer service or meaningful feedback regarding these issues, I would like to request a full refund. I can no longer move forward with a product that feels like a hodgepodge of mismatched components. I look forward to your immediate response. And still no response. I got a response in like a different email thread. Let me go back to the other one. Yeah, so this is where I also started emailing them on the other email thread originally that stopped. This first email thread stopped in December 3rd, and then I started emailing them again January 15th, so I was kind of bouncing between this one and the other email thread starting in January. The 21st, she said it shipped. She sent me the tracking. I asked her about the bolts. She sent the bolt tracking on the 21st. I received the clutch on the 21st. Yes, after receiving the clutch on the 21st, I sent them the email expressing the issues. 23rd, no response. 24th, no response. 26th, sent an email again on both emails, no response. 27th, I finally get a response from David. Sorry for the late response. Most of us were out of town yesterday due to the ice storm. We ship about 10 of these clutches a day worldwide without issues. They are not a hodgepodge of parts. The only difference between the S55 and the S58 is the flywheel. Okay, once again, my issue is not with that. My issue is with the fact that it came balanced and I don't know that we have the correct orientation anymore. And I continue to ask for calls and whatnot, just so I can and be like, hey, David, this is what I'm experiencing. I want to make the clutch, put it in correctly. Should I align the pucks so they are in line, or should I offset them? It'd be a 2-second question. I could ask about, well, what about the balancing? You know, you guys did have it balanced. Do these really matter that much? Maybe he'll be like, hey, it doesn't really matter the orientation if it's 180 out from where it was, as long as the pucks are in line. That's all I want to ask, right? The 27th, I respond asking for a call and some feedback regarding it. The 28th, I call, email again, same thing, asking. The repeated lack of technical guidance only adds to my confidence in the product. As I have stated, I would prefer a new clutch, and I just keep asking for a new clutch. I just want to be sure that the components that I put in my car are correct. I don't want to have to do this clutch install again after waiting 3 months. 29th, send another email. 30th, send another email and said, hey, look, guys, another week has passed. This whole week, I could have installed this clutch. I've had the clutch in my possession now for almost 2 weeks, and I still can't get an answer on the orientation of the clutch discs. It's absurd, guys. This is somebody who's supposed to be a partner, a business relationship. And this doesn't feel like a business relationship. This feels completely one-sided. This feels like they don't care. I've never experienced anything like this. It's just absurd. And so January 30th, I mention all of my concerns. At this point, I basically just want to sever ties with SPEC Clutch. I want to send the clutch back. I want my money back. It's just been a bad experience. I don't want to ever actually do business with this company, because if they can't provide basic customer service, that is something that I pride myself in. And, you know, I'm not perfect myself. I understand things happen, but to do like zero about it, to try and not even make it right, or even have the grace to just pick up the phone and have a man-to-man conversation with me and just discuss my concerns, it's frustrating, guys. So anyhow, it's February 1st. At this point, I don't know what to do. My car's still stuck on the lift. I can't seem to get a call or an email from SPEC Clutch. And at this point, I almost want to completely just part the car out and sell it. To be honest, between the steering rack issues that took about 3 months to get resolved with BMW, the coating diff issues that I had with BMW in the very beginning, which took me probably 2 or 3 weeks going back and forth with BMW to get them to resolve those issues. I mean, the seat has started to tear. The, Apple CarPlay acts funky at some times. I coated the car. I did the whole CS coating and, diff coating, and I did the LCI engine tune, and then BMW did the software update, and then I had to redo all that. And this clutch thing is kind of the final straw in the coffin. And to be honest, I like the car. I haven't really fallen in love with the car. And I think that's partially because I've owned the car for 1.5 years. And in 1.5 years of owning the car, it's probably been down or broken for half of that time. And I'm just kind of sick of it. And it sucks that something as simple as a clutch, something that literally shouldn't have taken this long to get resolved, and I don't know why I let it go on this far. I really just tried to give this company the benefit of the doubt and give grace, considering that it was Thanksgiving and Christmas. I don't know what to do. Today, we're gonna do something. I need to get this car off my lift. I literally am like, do I put the stock clutch in it and just part the car out and get rid of the freaking car? Which really bums me out, because we haven't even got to fully test this car. I mean, we've done and it just sucks for my sponsors. The whole thing sucks. It's so bad. I really want to test this. We've got Hoosier tires on it. I need to get some development testing videos for them. I would love to go test the tires on this car and really see how it does with the AST Moton suspension, the monoballs, the SPL, tie rods, toe arms, all that stuff. Not tie rods, my God. The end links, everything. Obviously, all the Vorsteiner's finally on it. We've got the Monji wheels. The thing is finally dialed for the track, and I've really been wanting to take the car to the track, and we can't. It's just sitting here. And not to mention, it's taking up space in my shop. I'm trying to wear it on the race car, guys. I've got to do painting and stuff, and I'm like worried and concerned about getting overspray on my car. I'm sorry for the rant. Hopefully this didn't take too long. 40 minutes is crazy. And yeah, guys, I don't know what else to say. I'm really sorry. I feel like I let you guys down. I'm gonna do something today. I'm at the point where I'm like, because I want to drive the car. I want to be able to floor the car and not have the clutch slip. I want to be able to go to the track and test the suspension and finish giving you guys feedback on this stuff. So I guess, what are we gonna do? What other options do we have? I've been waiting for an update. I think we're just gonna install this stupid clutch. I'm so upset about it. I really don't want to install this thing, but I also don't want to install a slipping clutch. It just would kill me. I would literally have to just part the car out if I put this in. And at this point, I went back to Clutch Masters. I was gonna buy a clutch around Christmas time, and I should have just done it, but I just had faith that SPEC would take care of me, and that just isn't the case. But anyhow, I guess we're gonna put this thing in, and we're gonna give you real world results, feedback on whatever happens. Who knows, this thing may work, it may not work, it may vibrate, it may not vibrate. We may have a great experience, we may have a really bad experience, but we're gonna be very candid, and we're gonna take you guys along for the ride. So I guess let's get this stupid clutch installed. We are going to probably go with the, I'm thinking it makes the most sense, go with the symmetrical, where the clutch pucks are laying on top of each other. I think that makes the most sense just looking at it. When I go for the offset, they seem to not be a perfect offset. It seems to either be slightly one way or the other. I just wanted an answer from SPEC on what to do. You know, it probably is to be in line. It just would have been a 3-second call to tell me, hey, yeah, dude, just put it like that. You'll be fine, you know? And it sucks. It really sucks. But, and the reason I'm also concerned, because see that, guys, sometimes you can't get it exact. So you've got to be sure that they're exact. And then I've got to slip the intermediate plate in there. And then it's very hard to tell if the thing is balanced. I don't know if you guys saw that, because sometimes when you try to put it identical, some of the splines are slightly off. So you actually have to like spin it to where it does just so happen to land. See, that one's just slightly off. So you've got to like find the key way where it's exactly identical, which isn't the easiest thing to do. And nor do I know if that's the right way for the clutch to be, which is just really frustrating, guys. Like you can see even on that one, it's just slightly off. So only like one of the keys is like perfectly centered. And that's my big concern. I've just been asking for an update on this for weeks now. And it seems so ridiculous that I can't get a call back to just tell me, hey dude, yeah, do that. Like I would have installed this clutch a week ago. I wouldn't be making this video if I could have got a call back, but apparently they could care less. But yeah, so I think that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna try my hardest to make sure that it's perfectly lined up as it is there. I'm gonna lift it up. I'm gonna slip the intermediate plate in. I'm gonna put the balancing marks of the pressure plate and intermediate here, sorry. Whoa, what is going on? I'm gonna put the balancing marks here on the intermediate and the actual case, pressure plate case, exactly as they came off the S55. I also will probably try to orient it. There was a balancing mark slightly here. This blue mark is slightly from the centering pin. I don't know if you guys can see that. It's like slightly, here's the centering pin and here's the mark. So I'm gonna probably just put it slightly off to the right if I can to kind of orient that. But you know, I'm just very, very concerned that I might have some balancing issues or application issues. So wish us luck. We're gonna install this thing because I really can't wait any longer. And I wanna get this car back on the road again and go to the track and test these tires and test the suspension. So without further ado, it's enough of my rant. Let's get all these freaking cars moved. Let's get this clutch installed and get the transmission back in it. We also have a car meet tonight. I freaking want to have a car. All my cars are broken. I literally, E36 is waiting for some fuel system updates. The M2 is in final assembly. The 1M's in paint. The Lexus, I've just been too busy to even play with. The 240 we made some progress on the other day, but it's just like this car is just so easy to get together and drive. And it's probably one of the best, nicest cars I have to drive. So I'd like to use it. So we're going to do that for tonight. We're going to get it ready for the car meet. We'll see you guys also in the next video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. Got a super cool midnight cruise here in San Diego. And if everything goes smoothly, the G87 will be there. So let's get to it. Enough talking. All right, guys, we got everything situated, moved everything out of the way so we can actually get to the G87. We will take the cover off here in a bit, but I've had everything sitting here all nice and organized. The exhaust hanger, bracket, cross member, trans bolts, cross member bolts, everything you need, drive shaft bolts, all sitting here. Transmission still sitting here. So we're gonna have to get the throw out fork. I do have a brand new BMW plastic pivot pin. I was trying to get a metal one made. Nobody actually makes one. The G8X one is slightly longer than the F8X one. I may actually produce this for people. I also did tell IAG, or I did tell AG8 Tools about it because I bought their brass pin that works for the F8X and older generations all the way down to E36. I believe it's the same. And that one was too short. I was too worried about that affecting the throw of the throwout bearing. So we've gone ahead and just got another plastic one, but I did let them know about that so that they could potentially produce one as well. We'll see. The cost of producing it is quite high. My neighbor's actually a machinist. They quoted me about $750 to create the file. And then, you know, I got to buy a bunch of material and have like 100 pieces made to even be somewhat viable. And it's a cheap part, man. We sell it for 20 or 40 bucks. Like the chance of really being able to get a return on the investment would take a very long time, and I just don't know that it's worth it. But anyhow, we're going to install a new plastic one, get the new throwout bearing that, I don't even want to say their name, but SPEC has supplied. And yeah, it's obviously like a one-off kind of custom one, so hopefully it's the right one. Hopefully this wasn't sent for the S55. And then they have supplied us with a different release fork, which is totally different than the factory one. The factory one has these little like ears on it. This other one doesn't, which is probably just a standard. It looks like the standard F8X one. And then we're just going to reuse the factory hardware. And yeah, that's it. So here's the G8X. Wish us luck. Then we'll slap the tranny in. And if everything goes well, we will be driving this thing tonight for our car meet. So let us know what you like, what you don't like about this video. And if you think that we are in the right or wrong in this situation, really doesn't matter. But it is what it is. I just wanted to share my experience with you guys. I'm just hoping that when I put this clutch in, we don't have any issues and the car drives nice. So without further ado, let's get to it. All right, guys, I just want to show you something. This is fresh off of the mill. I think that's okay, I guess. Look at that. I haven't even tried to install this thing. Ridiculous. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing up here and see if she fits. I guess this is the kind of stuff that SPEC thinks is acceptable, guys. It is definitely not. How do you even damage the spring seal on this thing when, look at that, guys. Damaged lip spring seal. This goes behind the rubber seal here on the pilot to make sure that there is tension on the rubber seal and that dirt doesn't end up inside of this bearing. What do we do, guys? Do we install it like this? Or do we literally just continue to wait and probably not get any resolution this week? Do we install the stock clutch? I don't know. I don't know, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna rant here. I'm just like, I'm not sure what to do. What would you do? I'm about to literally just send it because I want to drive my car tonight. We have a huge car meet, and this is, and I'm sitting here with no car to drive for tonight. I don't know, guys. I think I'm just gonna send it because at this point, I literally have no other option. I will probably never get anything from SPEC, and I have half a mind to do something more, but I don't know. This is where we are. I guess let's just see if this thing even fits. I haven't even set it on the crank to see if it fits, guys. Who even knows if it fits? We may be completely screwed here, so I'm gonna throw this thing up here, see if we can't even get it to go on the crankshaft and line up with the alignment pin. We've got our alignment pin pretty much lined up here. Let's see, guys. Oh, well, would you look at that? Literally seems like the machining on the crankshaft. Got it on, I can't seem to get it in the alignment pin. Let's see, can we get the alignment pin to go? It like went on, but look at this, dude. You guys see that on my finger? They're straight metallics. Like it, look at this. The machining tolerance on it. I don't know if you guys can see that in here. Look at all of the metal. Do you guys see that? Is that coming off on the camera? I can't make this stuff up, you guys. The tolerance isn't even right. It literally like peeled the lip away on the crankshaft just trying to install it. Like the tolerance is either too tight or seems like it's too tight, or maybe it's got a slight taper in this groove here. I just don't even know, guys. I really, really just don't even know. I don't even know what to say. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to say. I can't even get the pin on. I'm sure the tolerance on the pin is probably wrong. What a fucking part. Piece of shit. All right, guys, that's it. I'm fucking done. I'm putting the stock clutch in. We're gonna fucking part this car out. I am so sorry. I literally don't know what else to do. If I put the stock clutch in, I can't even track the car. I can't even go test these tires. I literally can't do anything. You know, it's so annoying. I just looked at this car and I just saw a nail in the tire. And the day we took the transmission out, there was a nail, I think in the back left or the back right tire. I took the tire off, I think it was the back right. I took the tire off, had it patched. I'm looking at the tire right now, a different tire, and there's a fucking nail in it. I swear, guys, this car is just giving me all the signs to get rid of it. My brand new Hoosiers. 2 of them now. Freaking nail in the tire. Well, guys, I don't know. I'm gonna try and set this thing on there, I guess, one more time and just see if we can even get it to line up with the pin so I can at least even verify if that is correct at all. Oh man, so lame. It's like 4 o'clock and everybody shows up here at like 10 and I pretty much need the rest of the afternoon to get this thing back together and then go home and shower. And well, guys, as I thought, just as I thought, I don't know if you guys can see that. I don't know how to show it, guys, because this thing reflects so gnarly. Look at how off the locating pin is. Look at that. We're like half the locating pin itself off. No wonder it didn't want to go on when it was like that. The only way that I can seem to get it on is when I put the locating pin right where the bolt holes are. Amazing. Wonderful craftsmanship, guys. Pretty much on par with what I would expect. I don't even understand when I sent you guys the original flywheel. Like, I guess I should probably take this thing apart for you guys so you can look at it. It's just insane that you can make this many errors. Look at the factory hole here. You can actually see it's closer to the top. Look at how it's like in line with the top of the holes here. On the other one, it's like straight in the center. It's about like right here. Like they didn't even measure or 3D scan it or like, oh my God. I just don't even know, guys, what the hell they did. And they have a second provision here, which I'm considering about using, but the factory crank came off on this hole. It's insane. I don't know, actually. I guess it looks like it is in the same spot. I don't freaking know. We're gonna try this hole. Maybe it is the freaking hole. It just seems so retarded. Maybe I'm just a little upset. Which is rightfully so, guys. So, freaking A. Let's put this thing in on the other fucking hole and see if we get a different result. Wipe all the freaking metal off the back of the crankshaft. It's so ridiculous. This thing is just the worst machining I've ever seen, guys. Like, really, look at that. Look at these blemishes. It's in the fucking raw mating surface right to the freaking crankshaft. Could definitely create a vibration if it wasn't sitting flush. I just don't know what to freaking do. Oh my God, guys. Look at the tolerance on this thing. Wobble, wobble. Look at the top to bottom. This thing freaking wobbles like a mofo on the crank. There's so much tolerance. What would you guys do? Would you run it? Send it? Basically, at this point, I have no other choice. I really want to drive this car, so we're gonna fucking send it, guys. We're gonna fucking send it. We're going to slam some Loctite on these bad boys, get these crank bolts torqued, and get this flywheel in there, or get this pressure plate in there. I'm done talking about it, guys. We're gonna install this thing and wish for the best. Wish us luck that freaking pilot bearing doesn't make noise and doesn't take a shit prematurely because of the dirt getting inside of it. All right, guys, I'm pretty sure these bolts are actually one-time use, and they do come with some factory Loctite on them, but because we're gonna reuse them, especially because this clutch is questionable, I don't feel like wasting the money on new bolts, so we're just gonna reuse these bad boys. They should be fine. I've, you know, I hate to say it, but we've had to do it before in the past, and it's been just fine. So these are a steel bolt. They're not like one of those stretch to yield aluminum bolts where you really can't reuse them. These things should be plenty durable. You know, if this thing was gonna make like 1,000 horsepower, if I knew it was gonna go crazy numbers, I definitely wouldn't do this. It's pretty much stock power, 600, 700. It's, you know, it's on a JB4. It's never gonna be any more than that. Guarantee you these bolts will be just fine. But it is a blind crankshaft, which means the holes go through, so you can actually see the timing chain up in there. I don't know if you guys can just barely see the chain link, but you can see the chain link, and there's some oil back up in there. So if you don't put Loctite on these bolts, you will have an oil leak out of your flywheel, and you don't want that. So make sure you're either using new bolts or putting some Loctite on them. Anyhow, let's get these bad boys Loctited up and get this flywheel torqued onto the car. At this point, I'm just gonna try to focus on the fact that the car is about to be running again after 3 months, and start jamming these bolts in. I'm gonna find the, I think it's a T60. We'll get the good old T60. And because it's such a high torque, I'm gonna use a really small gun so that I can actually bring it up to torque spec by hand and not just a freaking impact like I took them off. I'm honestly going kind of overkill on the Loctite because last thing you want is a leak. And it's better to have it closer to the tip because they really don't go in very far, so. Let's hope the distance is correct and it doesn't run into our timing chain with freaking the way everything's gone with these guys. Who knows if the machining is even correct. The depth of the holes could be wrong. Who knows? I've basically lost all faith in this company, unfortunately. It's quite sad. There's only one other company I've ever had potentially a worse experience with. And that was Carbon Autoworks, who scammed me out of an engine, which is a story for another day, but I'm sure you guys would love to hear about that. Steve Dinan and his cronies over there did something very shady to me, and I wasn't the only one that this happened to, unfortunately. And when I found out the real story through the forums, quite sad. And at the time, I was a broke young business owner and didn't really have the resources to pursue him. And still till this day, I wish that I had, just for principle. I don't really care if it would have gotten me anywhere or not, but just for principle, honestly. Unfortunately, in business, not everything always goes as planned. All right, so we've got all these bolts in. I have half a mind to turn the engine and make sure that it's good. The The starter gear, honestly, I almost should have set it up with the other flywheel just to make sure that it engaged, but I'm looking at the starter gear and it almost looks like it's a little short. I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully it engages, guys. We're going to keep our fingers crossed. I can see that it is probably going to grab, but it's kind of shallow. Hopefully it doesn't like shred the teeth on the ring gear long term. I'm sure it'll work right off the bat, but Jesus, just don't understand. Yeah. Let me get this thing torqued up, guys. Let me figure out what the torques are, and then I'll let you know here in a second. All right, guys, so we've gone ahead. We torqued the flywheel to, it's 60 Newton meters plus 45 degrees for the flywheel bolts. Torqued that up. We've got the pressure plate and everything torqued on to the actual flywheel. That's 8 foot-pounds, which the tool is nicely centered and seems to go in and out very nice. So let's hope the same is for the trans. As you can see, the trans side mark is there. The other one says flywheel side on the opposite side. And all should be well. So we're gonna pray that this thing works. We've put a little bit of Loctite on these things because I just don't trust them at 8 foot-pounds. But yeah, this thing's basically ready for the transmission. So we're gonna go ahead and get the throwout bearing and the new pivot pin installed on the transmission itself. So I'll grab that now and I'll show you that here in a sec. All right, guys, here's the part number for the clutch pivot pin. It's 21, 51, 84, 87, 341. We gonna install this bad boy. It's really easy. Honestly, it should just slide right in there. Being plastic, may need a little bit of persuasion. They make it kind of tight. So we will probably just put a little socket on that around it there and see if we can't tap her in a bit. Little persuasion. Just gonna use a socket that goes over the head enough that it won't damage the surface area where the pivot pin's actually gonna live. You know, I would like to use something else, but we don't really have another option. This might work a little bit better. It's a round surface. I found a, this is for a, like a tap and die bit. So that is round at least. We'll try this and see if it's any better for getting her in there.
2,000 years later.
How hard I'm having to hit that thing to get it to go on. I don't like that one bit. I don't know what else we could have done to really get that thing in there. I definitely don't want to hit on the head. So that sucks. Let's see if we got anything better. Hit a little bit farther down on it. Kind of try to hit down here in the base area more. Basically got it in there, guys. Actually kind of crazy how hard I'm having to hit it. I do not like that. It seems to still have like a fingernail gap, but maybe that's just all she'll go. That seems to be it. I'm like really hitting on this as hard as I can. All right, now I can't really fit my fingernail in there. I'm gonna leave it at that, guys. I really didn't like that. But the surface area where the pivot, where the clutch fork itself, release fork is gonna sit is undamaged. So we're going to say that that's just all right. The area where the clip goes in as well is undamaged. So it should be fine. Let's get this release fork on here. I'll give this a little wipe down. The new one isn't plastic, so I will probably put a little grease in here, even though the original setup did not have grease on it. And yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. So as I also previously showed you guys, they supplied this new throwout bearing, and it has right here a short side and a high side, and they say use this side, so we're gonna use that, as they say. We're also gonna use their supplied release fork to make sure we don't have any issues, because That's what they want us to do. This thing will go in here like that. Now, like I said, because this is all metal and not plastic like the original one where they don't need grease, we are gonna actually grease this one. So we will put a little grease in here and like I said, wipe it down, which I'm gonna do now. And then I need to find the spring for which is right here. This little spring here will go on the release fork itself and hold that pivot fork in place. So we will go ahead and get that installed now. Let me get some grease and then we'll get this nice and greased up and clean. Now I do have, let's see. I think I have some previously from like ACT or some clutch specific grease, but we also have brake grease, which to be honest is basically the same thing. To be honest with you guys, this stuff is like really good for a clutch as well because it is meant for high temperature areas. And although it's maybe a little bit more chunky, I would say, it's a little bit thicker buildup than some of the kind of more synthetic greases you could use. This stuff seems to work very well nonetheless. So we'll get this nice and greased up a bit here. Don't want to do too much, but we definitely need a good bit. That will probably do. I'll probably put a little bit inside of the bearing itself. Just make sure there's a decent coating all around, and we will also put some on these guys here, just to make sure that these also have a little lubrication and don't stick on the fork when it rocks. So we'll take this guy, slide it in the fork. I guess you can slide the fork in first and then slide it on after. It doesn't really matter how you do it. You just got to get this over the pivot pin. It'll hold it on like that. We'll stick this in here. Make sure you get the flats on the right spot. And that's pretty much it, guys. This thing just slides in and out like that. This fork here stays on by that spring, and that's it. You can, BMW didn't because it's plastic, but you can put a little grease in there if you really wanted to. I don't think I am. It's plastic. It's kind of self-lubricating. You could. You also run the chance of the grease eating up the pivot pin. The factory one, like I said, coming off the car originally, was completely dry. So we're gonna do it dry, just like the factory did. And that's pretty much it, guys. The transmission is ready for install. It's really an easy job. Got a little excess grease here on the shaft from throwout bearing going on. Definitely want to make sure to get any excess grease. But yeah, guys, that's it. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna get this transmission up on the jack there, which I may need to grab my neighbor again. I should have had him do that when he was here helping me just a second ago. I had my neighbor come over to help me torque the flywheel. Yeah, so anyhow, I will get this thing up on the transmission jack there and get this bad boy up in the car. We got about 4 hours so people start showing up, so I need to get moving. All right, guys, so we're gonna get this thing in the car. I'm gonna bring it kind of towards the back of the table as far as possible because I have this little vise here mounted to the table, which gets in the way. I think last time this is how I did it. It's been so long, I don't even remember, to be honest. And yeah, I am looking for undercar light. I'm looking for a light that clips on under the car, guys. Sorry. There it is. Try to get some light up under here. Make sure we got as much light as possible. I also need to probably undo this drive shaft so this thing can hang down. Get the ground out of the way. Should be good with that. You should be able to pull the trans out of the way here. We'll mount this light up so we get some extra light in here, guys, and double check everything. We just have a couple little wires to worry about as the transmission goes in. A couple starter bolts to get in once we get her in, which we could put in now, actually. I guess it's easier. There's no reason to leave them out. So we'll start, I guess, by putting these transmission or starter bolts in, which need to make sense of them. It's been so long, I actually. There they are. I knew that's what they looked like. I was looking at the transmission bolts going, those look kind of like it, because they do. It's these ones. These are an E10 for the starter, so we're gonna go ahead and pop these bad boys in. Honestly, didn't need to take these out. I was thinking originally that I was gonna take the starter out, but ended up not having to, which was nice. So we'll pop these in just to at least make it a little easier, because the tranny is not in the way right now, which is pretty cool. Probably should have just thrown these back in when we took the tranny out, and I realized I didn't need it. Quick little torque on those. Not 100% sure, but just by the looks of it, I think it's probably about 20 Newton meters, 18, which is about 180 inch-pounds. Gonna go, see how that feels. Because it's an E10, it could be like 12 millimeters, but the bolt shaft is quite a bit thicker than the typical 10 or 12 mil bolts. So I think it's the next step up, which is gonna be like 18 to 22 millimeter or Newton meter. And 180 feels really good. We'll double check those, but that's at least nice and tight for now. All right, guys, let's push this bad boy in there. Let's see, is it gonna clear, or will we need to take the car up a bit? I think it's gonna clear. I also need to get my 1/2-inch little mini impact so that I can drive this bad boy up into here. Ooh, she just barely cleared, guys. Just barely cleared. Let's see. Try and find the best angle here for you guys so you can see what I'm doing. Like I said, guys, I'm gonna push this thing as far forward the table as possible. I'm gonna have this transmission as far back on the table as possible in case I need to bring it down so we don't run into that. We're going to take this baby girl up. She's gonna be a rockin'. Oh, oops. We got her caught under the. Now this was really tight to get this thing out, guys, so we'll see, kinda don't remember if I push the drive shaft to the left or the right. I think it was the left. Okay. And we're kinda up in there. It'll kinda support itself because it's got transmission tunnel kind of holding her left to right. And then, really don't want to take this thing all the way up. We do want to bring the car down some, but trying to just get her up at least a bit. So move this up, guys, a little bit more. We still got a long ways to go, but it's kind of goofy doing it solo, especially with this style of tranny jack, because they're goofy and they don't really hold the transmission very well. You know, some of these nicer ones actually like have straps to hold. But anyhow, we'll bring the car down a bit. We go very slow. Make sure we don't catch on anything or any wires. It is important here that in a bit we get this wire on top of the transmission. There's a speed sensor that will need to be plugged in, which we can actually get right now. It is plugged in now. So as we come up, I will find the mounting locations for the harness on the transmission. There are a couple little plastic kind of tabs that clip to the transmission itself. And one big wire here, power wire for the starter that we gotta miss, and that's about it. Everything else is pretty straightforward. So just double checking that we've got clearance here to kind of come over to the left. This will need to come left a wee bit. And double checking everything's all right. We're gonna continue to bring the car down. Sorry guys, I thought I was stuck on the lift. Oops, something caught. Anytime you see something catching like that, we like to stop and take a peek, make sure everything's looking good, guys. We're gonna continue to bring the car down. And almost to the point where I can kind of slip the input shaft into the transmission, into the clutch a bit. But we just got to go a little bit more. Should be about there. The nose of the transmission is getting there. So now I think we're kind of slightly into the splines a bit. We can still go up a wee bit, but I'm gonna bring the car down a little more. We want to have a little bit of up and down on the jack itself, so we don't want to completely max the jack out. And let's see, where are we at? How are we looking? How are we looking? Here we go, guys. We're in just a little bit more. Okay. I'm going to roll the table a bit. We're getting close to the edge. Transmission needs to rock and roll a tiny bit. Car needs to still come down a wee bit more. Okay. We're getting somewhere. There we go. She just slid forward a bit, which is a good sign. We're getting somewhere. Let's see. Let's hope the splines just go in nice and easy. Make our day easy. That would be wonderful if she could. Okay. Beautiful, guys. We got it right where I want it, where I have to actually like lower the jack a bit to get the transmission in. As you guys can see now, we're getting kind of close. You know, it's not touching the engine, but we're at least in the clutch hole. We aren't splined up yet, but that's next. So we will go ahead, double check that the wires on the driver's side here are good, or passenger side, my bad. And there's also a clip for the harness that goes through one of the bolts. The bolt actually locates the harness. We need to make sure that we don't get that caught between the transmission and the actual engine. It will want to kind of get caught in this space here. And so we need to, oops guys, sorry. We'll get caught in this space here. So we want to be sure that up there, way at the top, we don't get it caught. So I'm gonna keep on working on this, guys. Give me a sec and I'll show you the finished product. All right, guys, we got the transmission in the car. As you can see, the transmission jack is on the floor. Transmission is just hanging here on the motor. It's a little tippy, but that helps a bit with the top bolts, getting some extra space to go across the top here. We use these variation of long and longer extensions. So I've got a 3/8, like 2-foot extension, and I got a 1/2 inch extension here that goes to a 3/8. It's a 1/2 inch that goes to a 3/8 with a little connector that locks it in, which is really handy for getting those top bolts. So we're gonna go ahead, put the transmission bolts in. We've got them here. There's a couple little brackets, one on the bottom that we've already put in that holds the crossover pipe, and one over here on the right that also holds down pipe and holds the power cable as well. And I swear there was another bracket, but I don't know. Anyways, we're just putting it all back in. We got the, slave cylinder to also bolt back up. We've still got to bolt the drive shaft up. We got to hook up the shifter here in a bit. But the main thing that we're going to focus on right now is getting all of the transmission bolts in and tight. And then once we do that, we can put the cross member back in, shifter in, drive shaft, and the rest of the stuff, exhaust, and get this thing dialed in. So let's get these transmission bell housing bolts. It's probably the biggest pain in the butt out of the rest of this job. Mainly these top ones kind of suck. So we're going to use these extensions and see if we can't get them in. Some of these you kind of got to fish with your hands. Some you can just get with an extension. These top ones are very tricky to get as it's super tight bell housing. There's like no room. So as you can see, I just dropped it trying to get my hand up in there. I am probably going to put a little tape on this guy here. It helps put a little tape on this so it's not so loosey-goosey, and that helps you get on the bolt. So I'm going to do that real quick. All right, guys, I usually like to use electrical tape, but I can't seem to find any, so I just got some blue painter's tape. It'll do the job for now. It keeps it nice and stiff and less likely to fall. There's also a little tape over the edge, which is kind of holding the bolt for me, which is nice. I think I got it in the hole. See, it looks like we do have it in the hole. Tricky though. gonna move this table a bit, guys. Sorry, I honestly was trying to have it to where you guys could see, but I'm gonna need the table out of the way, so I'll check back in a second. You guys get the idea. All right, guys, all of the transmission bell housing bolts are in now. I've gone ahead and clipped in this power cable, and the O2 sensor also has a little clip way up there that has been clipped on to that bracket there. Everything has been tightened with an actual hand ratchet. I've gone ahead and thrown up this crossover pipe. We're gonna get that snugged in. We will also have to take the transmission up. The shifter's got to go on, drive shaft, all that stuff. We're just going to get to it, guys. So I'm going to set the camera up and just hammer down on this thing. Hopefully you guys enjoy it. Good job. And I will do my best to shine some light on it for you guys. So one of the first things we can do is this shifter, which slipped in nicely there. We'll grab the clevis pin and the circlip. Get that locked in. Make sure to orient it the exact same way as the front there, which has the pin going in from the driver's side towards the passenger side, which just slipped in nicely there, guys. I'm gonna probably need a flat head or something like this pry bar here to push this circlip on. Sometimes they can be a little tricky. And I don't know if you guys can hear that, but it just went bink and popped right on. So our shifter is connected to our transmission now, which is so nice with the CAE shifter. It's so much easier than aftermarket shifters. So that's all good there. We could put the cross member in. Actually, I guess we should put the drive shaft on first before we do the cross member. But the drive shaft was also a little tricky. I think I used a pry bar last time to get it off. It was close, but no cigar. So we kind of, I remember right, maybe I just took it up as I went down. If that's the case, then that's really gonna suck because we're gonna have to pull the drive shaft. I don't remember what I did, guys. Honestly, it's been a while, but I thought I was just hanging like this. Maybe I pulled it down a little more to get a little bit more room out of it. I don't know. I'm gonna figure this out real quick and probably just pull it a bit more. See if we can do that. Huh? How did we do that? Not sure, guys. Not sure. Come on, Joe. Normally, I would never do it this way, guys, but somehow we got it out this way. And maybe it was that it was when it was going up, I put it on. So we might be completely screwed here. But yeah, I kind of also remember maybe just prying it a little bit and was able to pull it off. But I don't think so. So we may have totally screwed that up. We probably are gonna have to. Fucking sucks. That means I have to pull the whole exhaust, and I've been avoiding that. So I'll need my neighbor. But maybe I do that real quick, slam the drive shaft in it, and then that'll all work. Or maybe what I did was pulled the, God, I don't remember, guys. I must have just brought it down with the transmission. Really strange, but I guess that's what we did. Like I said, I normally never do this way. I just was trying to get it out really quick, and we just chose to do it like this, which it's not gonna work. And I don't know how I did it. So let me strip this thing down, get this drive shaft out. We're gonna go ahead and just pull the whole exhaust system. I'm gonna go grab my neighbor. Got a couple hangers here. Ah, maybe that actually is what I did, because I do have these down. Maybe I hung the exhaust down. I'm trying to remember, guys. It's been 3 months. Maybe I hung the exhaust down and then I pulled, I think that's actually maybe what I did, and I pulled the center support bolts, actually, is what I think I did. All right, we're gonna do that real quick. All right, guys, so the hack is to bring this thing down. I brought the exhaust down a little bit more. I brought this thing down, and the center support bolts are out. Now with the center support out, we can easily get the drive shaft up on there. So that was the key. That's what I did last time. I guess I just forgot. Super easy. This little heat shield comes down, 2 13mm bolts, and you're in. So we're gonna go ahead and get this drive shaft on. We're gonna get the bolts in it, get the center support backs in it, get everything torqued, and then we'll keep moving forward. So let's make it happen, guys. Hopefully you can see all that. You can see the shifter is connected here. Nice CAE shifter. Transmission will go on. Center support bolts, and all is good. So let's get it done. All right, guys, first things first, get the drive shaft into the actual yoke on the transmission.
And I believe, yeah, I put, just in case, not that it really matters, but I did, put this thing back in neutral. I did mark the drive shaft and whatnot so that the bolt holes can go back exactly where they are. So I got 1, 2, and 3 marked just to be sure. It really doesn't matter, but sometimes I like to put things back where they go. On such a new car, I'd hate to create any vibrations or anything, and not that you should with re-changing the hole because the drive shaft is balanced independently of itself. But still, nonetheless, I just like to do stuff like that sometimes. So we've done that here on this bad boy. We've got the transmission and drive shaft connected now with 1 bolt. It's amazing. We will go ahead and put the other 3 in. I am so happy to be nearing completion. Man, 3 months without this car has been a real drag on my life, my shop, and everything, and I just can't wait to be driving this car tonight with all the boys for the midnight cruise. So unfortunately, we had no other choice. We just had to put it together with what we had, because I would like a car that can make some power, not slip the clutch, and I would like to go to a track day. At this point, I'm basically going to look for anything this weekend to do. If there's a track day this weekend, we are going to hit it because I just need to get some stress out. So we're going to get this center support back up with these 2 13mm bolts. Make sure you've got it the right way. It can rotate, so you want to make sure that it is the orientation that it was. And we've done just that. So, that's really interesting. The backside's got like, weirdly enough, like a little divot behind it. That's interesting. We're gonna bring it up almost all the way to flush. And then I like to make sure that left to right is even and front to back. Really like to make sure the drive shaft and everything exactly where it is. Honestly, we should probably put the cross member in so that it's actually sitting in the correct position even, which I may do right now, especially before we torque the drive shaft. Yeah, I guess let's go ahead and do that. Throw that bad boy up here. I'm gonna wipe this surface down real quick. Got some schmutz in here for some reason. I don't know where this stuff came from, but some kind of greasy schmutz in here, or cavity wax or something that is sitting in this area. So we'll wipe that up, just make sure nothing's gonna interfere with our cross member. Grab our big, gigantic, this thing is like massive, guys. It's huge, huge cross member. Let's make sure you can see here. Frickin' gigantor cross member goes like this. What's also funny is one side takes 4 bolts and the other side takes 3. Usually BMW is pretty good about putting the same size, you know, if it's 3 on one side, it's usually 3 on the other. That is kind of weird first. Honestly, this whole car is just funky. The G8Xs are like, I feel like an afterthought. Like they just took kind of what they had, like the rear subframe and stuff, and kind of worked with it. And then like designed some new things, but like kept some old things, and I don't know. I'm no designer, I guess. What do I know? And this transmission mount is also just the biggest rubbery piece of shit I've ever seen. They really could have done something better. It's not what I would expect of an M mount. Look at how wobbly this thing is for rubber. Really not the most ideal thing. Looking for our little E10 socket here, guys. So I can put these in loosely. So, and by doing this, we're getting the transmission in a neutral position so the drive shaft can be the correct length, because technically it was probably extending the drive shaft, which might have been putting a little extra stress on the center support bearing to go forwards or backwards, which we don't want. And we got one more here. There's no play really in it. I don't have to worry about it too much.
not being centered. Zap her in. I believe these are 18 Newton meters. So we'll torque those here in a second, but they're at least tight. The transmission is neutral. The drive shaft is neutral. So we can go ahead and if you would just even take a look at this center support bearing, it fell exactly right where it wanted to be, where it used to be. So she is perfect in the home spot. It's very like neutral. And that's what I like. I like front to back for them to be perfectly the same, basically. And left to right be perfectly the same. Which this one is. I like to touch on both sides with my fingers and just make sure. We're gonna lock that bad boy in. We'll torque those as well. Let's get these drive shaft bolts sucked in. They are, I believe, 18s. Yeah, 18s. Grab the 18 wrench. We will try to get on this. We're gonna need a little wobble. And I do actually have some sockets with a wobble that I should have grabbed. We're just using the wobble with a standard socket. Got to figure out how to get on these bolties here. There's one, two. Okay. Let's see if we can get the third one. Probably have to, honestly, we'll probably have to put the battery on and release the parking brake because the stupid thing went into like an emergency mode and the parking brake is now on, which sucks. All right, guys, so we've got pretty much everything in. The transmission crossmember torque is 48 Newton meters. The crossmember itself is 19 to 21. The ground up here is 13 Newton meters. All the exhaust bolts are 13. We've gone ahead and torqued all of those. Here, everything here, and back up here, guys. For the exhaust, all of that stuff is torqued. We've put the heat shield back in. We'll start throwing all those bolts in. I just didn't want to torque the drive shaft real quick. I got to look it up. I want to say that it's 100 Newton meters plus 90 orts. I think I got that wrong. I don't know. Don't quote me, guys. I got to look it up. I can't remember right now. But we're almost there. Look at the last bit of stuff. So I know I sound excited right now, but I'm also just really freaked out that I hope I don't have any issues with this thing because I can already hear people showing up. It's 8 o'clock. People are supposed to be here at 10:30, but I think some dudes are rolling by just to check the spot. Like, yeah, that's a Nissan 350Z, a Dodge. I mean, I guarantee you these guys are here for the car meet, the Corvette. They're all coming to probably just check and see if it's here because we haven't really told anybody where the meet's actually going to be. So I'm keeping it super low key, but I guarantee you those people are rolling by because they think it's here. Anyhow, I've been hearing a bunch of people buzz by. So I got about an hour to finish this thing. I got to get home, shower so I can get back by the time the guys are here. Feed Manji, walk the dog. So without further ado, let's get it. We've got some crossmember hardware here, a couple little nuts that we use as spacers, some underbelly bolts, and that's pretty much it. I got to bring the car down so that I can get the drive shaft to spin because the parking brake is locked from the battery being undone and the transmission unplugged. So I'm gonna go plug in the battery, grab the heat shield that's in the trunk, and finish this thing up. So let's bring her down. First things first. I think the fan should clear. It's the first time this thing's gonna be on its own weight in quite some time. It's been on the lift for quite a while and off the ground. I wish I didn't have this nail in my tire, but we're gonna have to drive with it. Is what it is, I guess. It's like weirdly electrolysis to the car. Or who knows, maybe there's like freaking literally overspray underneath it. At this point, I don't know, I don't care. Just wanna get this thing off the lift. That is not good, guys. I don't know how, but the trunk shut. Maybe I popped, or maybe I did shut the trunk because I was like, oh, I'll just jump it with the jump box, which we can do. We should be able to pop the hood, put the jump box on it, and then unlock the trunk. God, I hate this Vorsteiner hood sometimes, guys. Every time I have to double pull it and then like lift the hood and then pull it, because it just is goofy. All right, so we'll put some power to it. That should allow us to pop the trunk. Grab the jump box and the keys to the car, which actually, I don't even know if the keys to the car are here. It's been so long. It might be at the house. No, it really is annoying about this car, guys. The stupid carpet in the rear is like so tricky to get up. For whatever reason, you literally have to grab it with like a pick. There's no little spot for your finger to actually like grab it, which is always so frustrating to me, because it's like, what if I got to get my my spare flat fix out? Couldn't even do it if you wanted to. Almost, you gotta have some baby little fingers. All right, battery is connected. We'll get this nice and tight, and then we can actually go and finish this thing up and feel good about it. So we're almost there, guys. Almost. Just tightening the battery. Got a hood open message. Okay. Not too bad. I kind of want to fire her up, guys. It's been so long. I just want to see that it starts. That might be a little problem, guys. I don't know where the key is, so I may need to run to the house real quick. I'll probably just button up everything that I possibly can and then come back and just torque the drive shaft, and I guess we're basically there. God, that's frustrating. I think I accidentally took it home, so I'm gonna figure out where the key is and I'll check back in with you guys. But basically the car's done, battery's connected, power's on. Unfortunately, parking brake is still locked. And let's see if the key's in here. Oh, we got lucky. The key is in here, guys. I should have just checked. Okay, well, the clutch pedal feels semi okay. It didn't explode the slave, so that's a good sign. That means the slave is actually in the right spot. Let's, feels just like before. So, should be good with the transmission there. Let's fire her up. Woo! She sounded funny. She sounded really funny. All right, well, she runs. I'm gonna take the parking brake off so we can rotate the drive shaft. It's a good sign she's running. One thing that sucks is, all right, guys, the transmission is in and everything is done. All the exhaust is tight, cross members are tight. Little exhaust brace or chassis brace here is tight. The torque on those are 19 to 21 Newton meters. Same with the transmission cross member. Exhaust is 13 Newton meters. Put in all the heat shield bolts. All of them are just hand tight. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it, guys. Everything is in. Exhaust or ground is 13. The hanger or the transmission mount is 48 Newton meters. These as well are also like 13 Newton meters for the transmission or the exhaust hanger there. My bad, guys, it's getting late. These guys up here are 18 Newton meters. Gotten those torqued in for the slave cylinder. Everything's good to go. We've already started the car. All good. I started having a few people come by. Oh, I forgot to mention, guys, forgot to mention the drive shaft bolts. 55 Newton meters plus 90 degrees. I keep forgetting to mention those. Had some people already stop by, so I got to finish this thing up because the car meet starts in about an hour. And yeah, we need to test drive this thing and make sure it's all good. I can already tell the clutch is a little notchy. They say you need to put an aftermarket clutch stop, so I'll probably have to modify the factory clutch stop to make it work. So I got to get that done. But everything is torqued tight. Every bolt is back on the car. There is nothing missing. And yeah, it's just nice to have all the crap off of my table. So we're gonna get this thing finished up, get it on the ground, and take it for a test drive. Just cleaning up the last bit of stuff here, guys. Going to bring the car down now. Overall, install went fairly smooth, other than the little issues with the clutch. So like I said, let's hope that this bad boy doesn't have any issues and we can start to drive this car again. If there is no issues, I will be going to the track tomorrow or Sunday if anything is available. I really want to drive this car. Just moving some stuff because I will have to move this Lexus, guys, so we can take it for a test drive. So just getting some things out of the way here for me. All right, I probably will have to have the guys help me next door. Man, shop is tight. I really need to get this red car out of here so we have some more room. All right, guys, that may just be just enough to get her out. That's all we need. Just gotta be just enough. As long as we got enough, I'm happy. Oh, freaking A. I am ready to drive this car. Three months, guys. November 15th, I think, or 14th, or whatever it was, took it apart. It's actually 3.5 months, because that would have been December, January, I don't know. I gotta do the math. Maybe it was September 15th. I have no idea. October 15th. I've lost track. Far too long, that's all I know. Let's hope this tire isn't flat with the nail in it. Let's hope it holds some air tonight, because getting it patched at 9 p.m. on a Friday is gonna be. Car honestly needs a wash. I would love to give it a wash, but probably won't have a chance. We'll see. This thing is so low. Ah, she's such a bitch. Low cars, man, sometimes just suck. You're trying to work on them, get them on and off the lift. This thing's so low, you can't even get the arm out. Ah, there's one side, guys, one side. Whew. We're going to check the torque on the wheels, because I did, like I said, took the back right off. And I'm not sure if I torqued it. I just want to check all the wheels because it's been sitting for a while, so I don't remember if I did anything else to it while I was working on it last. So we'll run through and check the torque on the wheels real fast. My guess is they're probably all right, but rather safe than sorry. Man, there's a lot of noise out there, guys. God, guys. Oh my God, a whole biker gang. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bikes just rolling through. They're literally pulling in the parking lot, I think.
Okay.
Yep, and they are. Everybody's rolling up, man. They think it's time. It's so funny, guys, having these meets and like seeing, you know, we're just like doing our thing here, getting ready, and then people to start rolling in all crazy. Oh my God, dude. You guys hear that? Like, seriously, it's ridiculous right now. It's getting fucking wild. People aren't even supposed to start rolling in until 10:30, and it's 9 o'clock. And we don't leave here until midnight. We've got 4 hours. These people are tripping. 3 hours. Look at this. Some bikers. People already here. Crazy. Anyhow, guys, I got to finish this car. It's basically ready to go. I'm going to figure out the clutch stop real quick. Back this thing out. Looks like we maybe need to push the Lexus just a little bit more and get this bad boy pulled outside.
If you like this video, be sure to check out the next one. And if you haven't subscribed yet, be sure to subscribe and like the video. It helps a lot. Thanks, and see you in the next one. Let's go!